Back on the G35. Let's see. So yesterday, before I had to stop and go back to work, took the car to the car wash, washed it, put some gas in it, parked it on the pavement when I got home so I can check for leaks. I checked the water bottle, it was good. I didn't see anything leaking on it. I'm gonna check it this morning. And this is after I cleared the codes and everything. And I'm gonna see what she's looking like this morning. It's about 9:32. My first appointment is at 12. So I got a little time to fool around with the G a little bit. So I will start working on this. All right, so coolant level is still good. It's a little below the max where I had it at. And you can see the green. It even shows up on the camera. I always shake it so I can see where the fluid level is. It's about a 1/4 inch below the max line. I think I might have had it a little bit above the max line. So if you remember from the first video on this car, I thought the fans wasn't working, but we used the scan tool to rule out that hypothesis and found out that the fans were working just fine. The temperature sensor, I thought that might have been a problem, not sending the trigger. Found out that wasn't the case. So, well, that's my catch can, because these things, the plenum gets really dirty with oil because of the PVC system. But anyway, I'm going to add a little more coolant to it, get it back up to the max line, and I'm going to replace the radiator cap and see what that does. All right, got it up on the ramps, getting ready to check the oil and take a look. One of the first things I did was check the oil level. Like I said, these are pretty bad about burning oil, these VQ35s, but I looked inside the oil cap and good news, no milky in there, so I don't believe the coolant is being lost internally. It's an external leak. And I had the car running a little bit with the AC off, as I pulled it up, and I see a little spot right there behind the tire. You see that drip? There it is again. So I'll be inspecting that to see what that is. Only coolant lines that run on that side would be like the heater core. I'll get under there and inspect that. There might be some residual from when the AC was running when I first started it. I could have did a little better with that that ramp, but most of the tires on it will be okay. The other one looks good. Of course, I have the wheels shocked in the back. Safety first. And I'll climb under there with my creeper I got sitting on my toolbox and see what's going on with the spot right there that I see. I'll check that out, see what it is. I always like to wipe down my creeper before I use it because they stay out here. I got a few different ones, and make sure no spiders or anything are under here, because I have had that to happen. I don't need to get bit or anything, so I beat on it, check it out, wipe it down, and then use it. This one my dad bought me for my birthday one year. So let me get under there and take a look at that drip. So I'll take a second to highlight the tools that I use to do this quick oil change. I use that roto head that I recently bought. I mean, the thing's so big, I can only use it in wide open spaces. There's probably a bunch of uses for it, but I don't know what they are. The head is kind of big for me. But stuff like that, wide open spaces, work fine. I use this was either a Stanley or a Titan ratchet. Just a 1/4 on one side, 3/8 on the other. It stays permanently set up like this with this oil filter wrench on it. So use that for the oil filter. I use these metric shallow sockets for the plug. On this car, it's a 14mm. I use the Wix XP filters. This is the oil that I like to use. And to refill it, which I'm about to do now, I always use this kit because it makes quick work and it's easy. It doesn't spill. It's real nice, neat, and tidy. This is my oil cap. I'll find the one that matches this thread pattern out of the kit and fill it up. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So here are all the different pieces. In this kit, it's going to be the green one. I got this from Harbor Freight. I'm sure a lot of different people make these, and I'm sure they're all made in China. As you can see, it says Honda Nissan, has the thread pattern on it. And when I first saw somebody using one of these on YouTube, I was like, man, that's exactly what I need. You don't gotta put it in super tight. It has a rubber gasket on it. I just snug it down pretty good. Then I grab the funnel, take the cap off, which is very handy for when you have to take it out. Keep the oil from spilling everywhere. And now I can take the oil, open it up, and easily pour it without spilling anything because of this container. That makes it really easy to not make a mess. This car takes 5 quarts of oil, so that's the whole entire 5-quart container. So as you can see, that makes changing the oil really easy. And then I will take, oh, I forgot about this tool. This mat, this anti-splash proof mat is from Lyle. Lyle makes that. It keeps the oil from splattering all over the place. Get you one of these guys. It makes a big difference. Also, if you don't have like a Drain Plug Pro device, which I didn't use this time because I didn't feel like going to find it because it might be in the truck or it might be in one of the other toolboxes. But because I knew I had this mat, I didn't get all covered with oil because I just spin it when it was loose with one finger and just let it drop in the pan. So I wasn't worried about it getting lost in the hole, and I knew it would be sitting on top of the mesh and I'd be able to get it just like the filter sitting up there. So that's a great tool. And then I just use this to, I love these big mouth jugs and they fit on my container. And then I just pour the old oil back in this, close it up. That's what I do. All right, so now that that's done, I just pull that off, bring it over, cap it up. I'll wipe it out, and then I'll put all the pieces back in it, and I'm done. And that's it. That's how I do it. It works for me. Take the adapter out. I'll get some of that oil because these, let's cap it back up. It's really, the oil caps are really hard to come off on some of these Nissans. So I just oil that gasket and no mess. No oil spilling, no mess. It's good to go. And you can tell my car's been sitting for a while. Dirt daubers have made a nest in there. I need to drive it more. Test drive went fine. RPMs are rock solid. Not having the issue with it jumping around anymore. So to resolve my issues, I still don't know why the RPMs are jumping around. Maybe the injectors were a little dirty or something, because all I did was, on the previous day, I went, put some good gas in it, because the car sits up a lot, and I basically went and put some Lucas fuel system cleaner treatment, you know, those things, and put it on a half a tank, drove about 20 or 30 miles, let some of that get through the system, and after that, I didn't have, the RPMs were not jumping around while I was driving. And then, of course, I changed today the radiator cap, and I just went to O'Reilly's, and because I know that can cause problems. I've seen that a lot of times before, where the radiator cap can be your only problem, especially if it's not opening and closing for the overflow bottle, like the type of system that this car has. So I changed that, changed the oil. I mean, she's idling perfect. That's exactly where it's supposed to be at. I haven't put the scan tool back on it to see if any codes came back, but prior to changing the oil and everything, I did pull codes. I had a couple codes that I showed you on the previous video, what was in there, and everything looks good. Like I said, I took it for a test drive, and now I'm sitting here idling. I'll go in and talk to my mom for a little while, and I'll leave the car running, and I'll see what happens. I couldn't find a coolant leak. The drip that I saw earlier, I think it was just some either water coming out like the door channels or whatever, or something from when I ran the AC. It wasn't coolant, it was just water. And and I have a pretty rich mixture of coolant in here, so I would have known if it was coolant. So I'll keep driving it. I'll drive it this weekend as much as I can and see how it goes. But I'll catch you guys later. I gotta get ready to go service some more air conditioners and to diagnose a couple campers. Catch you guys later. RV Tech Pro. Yeah, that's definitely the AC. That spot is just leftover water where the AC was. Have the car running